ladies. We are going to get started with our panel discussion. So feel free to keep eating. If you, please silence your cell phones. If you need to get up and grab anything, please feel free. Just be careful not to slam the door there in the back. I think that's about it. Do we have any other questions that we've gathered up, or we're good? I think we're good. We're good. Okay. Where is Vicki? Of course. There she is. There she is. We're waiting on you. All right. So what we're going to do is we are going to first have each of our panelists do a quick little introduction. And then I have a specific question for each one of them. So if you saw some of the kind of graphics and stuff that we did for our panelists when we started, I kind of had a little highlight for each one because each of them, obviously all very successful and kind of unique things about them. So I have a specific question for each of them about that. Then I have a list of questions that have been submitted, and then we can do a Q&A if anybody has any questions from the group, okay? All right, so Vicki, do you want to get started with a little intro?
Okay. Hi, everybody. Can you hear me okay? Okay. It's a little weird. Okay, so I'm Vicki Neufeld. I'm the team owner for the Platinum Group Real Estate team, along with my business partner, Karen Cooper. This is our 6th year in the business. We are
As a team.
As a team, exactly. We're a group of 39, so thank you, God. Last year we helped 525 families based in Loudoun. We have a group, we have people in Prince William and Fairfax County. I started real estate 16 years ago. In July of 2005, I still remember day one like yesterday. It was actually right at the beginning of the market beginning to shift, and it was probably the worst time to start. I was a stay-at-home mom for 5 years before that, and I have a background in marketing, and it's been an amazing journey. I was lucky enough to walk into, actually the Sherry Wilson office is where we started. It was a Rainmaker team. I got to meet Karen, along with many other wonderful women that I work with to this day. It's been we work business by referral, and it's been an amazing experience, lots of growth, lots of development, lots of learning, and I've just enjoyed every minute of it.
Awesome. And Sue Smith.
Hello, my name is Sue Smith. I am a 33-year real estate veteran here in Northern Virginia. I know I don't look like it, right? Actually, I am older, but I don't feel it. So I know my years because my daughter Chrissy was a brand new baby when I got my real estate license. I had a newborn, a 2-year-old. I moved here from Minneapolis, Minnesota. I knew no people. So when people say to me, I don't know anybody, well, guess what? You learn to know people. Real estate is a second career for me. I actually was a corporate career right out of college. I worked for Honeywell Information Systems, and I got into real estate because by the time I was 25 years old, I had purchased 2 homes, and I was clueless as to what I signed. Does anybody kind of empathize with that? I had no idea what I did. I just was stuffed some paper, sign this, sign that, okay. And I also wanted to help people. So when I left my corporate career and I had my babies, I looked at 3 professions. Legal, being a lawyer, I'd love to be a trial lawyer, a doctor, or a realtor. Well, the realtor was a lot easier to get the credentials. So I started as a realtor, and here I am 33 years later. It's been an incredible journey, and I'm looking forward to 33 more.
Awesome. All right, Kathleen Stakem, follow that, would you?
Yeah. So interestingly enough, I'm Kathleen Stakem with Remax Distinctive. I'm entering my 5th year in the business, and I grew up in a real estate office with Sue's daughter, Chrissy, hanging out, waiting for our parents to wrap it up so we could go home. And so both my parents were in real estate, are in real estate, and because of that, hearing about it every night at dinner, there was not a chance in this world that I would ever get into real estate. I was going to do anything but real estate. So I became a teacher, which is what I really always had wanted to do, and I taught for a few years in Fairfax and then Loudoun, and then I got my admin certificate because I was going to become a principal, and a few years into that, I realized what principals deal with, and I was like, actually, real estate looks really nice. So I joined their company in 2016 with a 1-year-old, and it's been awesome ever since.
Awesome. Keisha, who was at the beach this morning and gave me a little miniature heart attack when I saw her selfie on the beach last night. And I was like, oh my God, she forgot. She forgot.
I would never forget you, Karen.
Thank you.
No. Yes, I got back home at 8:30 this morning. So, yes, my name is Keisha Washington. I am with Pearson Smith Realty. I'm entering my 3rd year of real estate. I've always had like a corporate job. I've worked in the legal field, finance. My last position was working for a commercial lender, helping small businesses obtain financing. I've just kind of always done that forever. I did a little bit of sales back in like 05, 06. A company I was working for, they wound up firing the sales guy. He just wasn't cutting it, and the boss was like, here you go, you know the product, sell it. So I did, and I kind of caught the bug way back then, but just really wasn't ready to do anything with it because on paper I was so good at just doing the whole banking, legal, all that fun stuff. So over the years I just kept kind of doing that, and my personality is people. So my husband just kept saying, you need to do real estate, you need to do real estate. So I really owe this all to him. About 5 years ago, I signed up to take the online test and failed miserably. I don't know why I thought I could do that, because I'm a busy mom, I'm working full time, and by the time I was, sitting with my laptop late at night, I'm like falling asleep on the couch. So that didn't work. So finally, I did the in-person class 3 years ago, and I'm so glad that I did, because after the first class, I was just so excited. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna love this. I took the class, immediately took the test, immediately joined Pearson Smith, still working full time, which I'll get into that. But now I'm doing real estate full time and just never looked back. I'm so passionate about this. I love helping people. I've been a top producer all 3 years so far. I've helped over 80 families, and I just have such a passion for it. So I'm excited to see what the future holds, and I'm so grateful to be here present today as a panelist speaking to you all.
Awesome.
Thank
you, Keisha. And last but not least, Amanda Macy.
Hi there. My name is Amanda Macy. I'm with the Platinum Group at Pearson Smith. I'm on Karen's team. About 2.5 years. I've been licensed since 2017, September, so I'm in my 4th year. My first 2 years were horrible. Sorry. I was a stay-at-home mom for 5 years before that, and prior to that, I was in catering and events with a large catering company in DC. So I've always been social and into people and all that stuff. So my first year, I didn't know what to do. I thought I had a great mentor, and she's wonderful, but I needed more. And my first year, I think I did 3 brokerages in my first year, and realized a team is where I needed to be. So I met with several teams and kept coming back to Karen and Vicki, and they weren't taking anyone on at the time, so I came to Pearson Smith and just waited. And in March 2019, they called, and I was like, oh yeah, let's do this. So it's been wonderful. Being a part of this group is you get a taste of Karen, but she's wonderful. Vicki, they're just a dream team. So I owe all of it most of it to them.
You do
and the team, and for me, just a team is where it's at. So it's been great. So
you're very sweet. Thank you, Amanda. All right, so I'm going to go through a few targeted questions, which I have prepared you all for. Kathleen has her notepad. She is ready to go. That's a teacher in her. Okay, Vicki, we're going to start with you. So many of you know our story, know Vicki's story. About 6 months into forming our team, Vicki's husband had a very, really terminal cancer diagnosis. And I was on the phone with her one day and hearing what the doctor said, and she said, I quit my job. And so she sort of quit her job, and she took care of him and took care of her family and came back from that tragedy after losing him and really had to start her business all over again. And many people have that experience for one reason or another, whether you're taking care of a family member or you're having a baby or something happens in your life and you have to start your business all over. And you've done that better than anyone I have ever known. You consistently average over 30 million in sales a year. Can you share with us a little bit about what you did to rebuild and your focus to help to make your business stronger than ever?
Okay. Tough subject. So yes, lost the love of my life. We were together 25 years. The boys were 12, 14, and 16 at his funeral, and it was 4 years ago. So I was devastated. The boys are devastated, still devastated. The year that we started our partnership was 2015, and I thought that I was having the best year of my life because I actually, for the first time ever, had broken 20 million in sales. I was getting into this partnership with Karen. We were so excited. We had so much to look forward to. And just a few months into starting, we get this horrific, devastating news before the Christmas and find out that he has like a few months to live. And for 18 months, I put everything on hold. And I worked very little. I mean, very little. Just, he was 100% my focus and making sure the boys were taken care of. And what we were going through at home was very traumatic. It was awful. Like, we're seeing terrible things happening. So fast forward, he passed away in May of 2017. And my boys are just in horrible condition. Losing a spouse is not just, I was telling her in the car today, you lose so many, you lose your life partner, you lose your best friend, you lose your co-parent, you lose so many things. But the other thing I lost, which was really hard, was my confidence. And it was really rough because it's like in my mind, I'd convinced myself that I wasn't going to be strong enough to do this, right? But what really helped me carry through is my boys, because they're looking at me and they're so broken. And I'm thinking, how am I going to take care of them? How am I going to provide for them, not just financially, but like emotionally and mentally? So a few days after his funeral, I went to something where there's these two women, Greek women, at a family event, and they both had been widowed. And they literally pulled me aside and I think gave me the best advice I'd ever heard. They were like, look at us, look at us. I think I was like... And they said two things. And I was like, what? And they said, you focus on your boys and you focus on your work. That's all you need to remember. You work so hard, you come home exhausted, you focus on your boys, you focus on your work. They said, you got it? And I was like, I got it. So I got it. So I think within a month of his passing, so many people, our community, my story was very public, had helped us in a million ways. I can't even thank all the people that had helped us. So I thought, where do I start? My phones were quiet. I had no business. It's awkward for people to come talk to me about real estate because it's not even appropriate, it felt like, right? So it was my responsibility to let people know that I'm back, I'm strong, work is good medicine. I kept saying that over and over again. And I started really with the next many months. I wrote hundreds of thank you notes. I had so many coffees. So many people would say to me, when you feel better or when it's okay, come, let's have lunch. Let's have coffee. So I did that. It was coffees, lunches, dinners, social media. Social media was really important because I was back out, buying pies again for listing appointments or talking about business. And so I made it more comfortable for people to approach me again. And it was always like, I'm back. Work is good medicine. I look forward to working. The boys and I are working through this. And really, this was so crazy. So the next year, I ended up doing 30 million in sales, 2018, which was unbelievable. So not just really the numbers, but just the confidence came back. My energy came back. And probably the most important thing is that my children were watching me very closely because my recovery was really going to determine their recovery. And if there are days where you don't want to get out of bed, and there are some days I didn't. So I did grief therapy, all kinds of things, but they watch me very closely, and they're doing, knock on wood, really well. 2 of them are in college, and so I think I'm most proud of that recovery because it was just all of us, and I know Joe would be super proud of that.
So proud of you.
Yeah.
So proud of you. I think the lesson that you hear from Vicki is when, and if you hear anything that we talk about or posts or, in the coaching group we talk about this, when things are slow, you have to get into action.
Yeah.
And so the action that Vicki took was writing the notes and going to the coffees and going to the lunches, because just getting out around people and talking to people and meeting with people, it made...
Yeah, I mean, I have a Facebook group called Leesburg Moms. I started when he was ill, and I write in there a couple of times a week, and actually that was part of my therapy as well, because, you have this horrible thing happen to your family, and you just feel like, okay, he just died, and that's it, like, I have to go on. So it was a way for me to communicate what I was feeling, and you're kind of vulnerable in exposing your what looks like weakness, but honestly, the community has been so amazing and supportive. And I have some amazing, Karen and just my whole team, Melissa, everybody, Jackie. So I just had to go back out, and there's a book, the 10X Rule with Grant Cardone, and he talks about multiplying your efforts. And really, that's what I did. And I think anybody who is kind of restarting their business or feeling a lull in their business, that's the way to go approach it, is to just maximum energy, maximum effort. And all of a sudden, business started flowing in like it was crazy. And I was just like, do you feel sorry for me? I remember one time being at a listing appointment where somebody said, everything about you sounds great, but I feel like you've been missing for a year and a half. And I was like, Anyway, I'm really thankful, and I think that that's the key, is action and movement, right? Movement
Exactly.
creates more action.
100%.
Yeah.
Speaking of movement and action, so Sue Smith, whose career spans, you heard her, over 30 years, I think you could hear in Sue's introduction, like, she's energetic and she loves her job still. And, a lot of us, some days we go home and it's like, this is the worst thing in the world. And what did we sign up for? And Sue, every time, is like always excited. And so, Sue, what is the key to longevity that's helped you? Vicki and I both talk over and over again about something that you said to us one time, when it was something about when people are mean or you lose, and you said, I'm tin, right? Like Teflon.
Teflon.
Tell us about your longevity.
Oh gosh, you want me to tell that story? So basically, in a nutshell, you have to become extremely resilient in life. All of us, including me. I mean, I am told no a lot more than I'm told yes. And the ability is to move forward in a no. Make the no a go. And if you can do that, then you will have so much, you'll have unlimited opportunities. So that was really it. You have to, I think I said to you, Vicki, years ago, I feel like I'm Teflon. I mean, it's not that I don't feel. I'm an emotional person. I'm a very caring person, but I'm not emotional when it comes to business. I'm rock solid, steady, and if anything comes my way, I don't care if it's somebody trying to attack me personally or if there's something tough in a business transaction, I'm able to handle that. And it's because I don't let it get inside of me. I never become the emotional aspect of a transaction, not the emotional aspect. So, but before I say anything else, I just wanted to say you are a hero. You should be a hero to everyone in this room, Vicki. And Karen, you too, because you are continued, you guys teach so much. I mean, all of us are here today because we want to learn and grow and become better, right?
Yeah.
And how do we do that? We do that through each other. So I don't care if you've been in the business 1 year, 6 months, 2 years, 33 years. Let us teach you,
Yes.
and we will learn from you as well.
Yeah.
So.
That's the power of the community, right? Is that we all have things to learn from each other. And we often say that, we say that on our team, is like, you can learn, it doesn't matter if I've done this 19 years and you've done this once, there's things to learn from each other. So you are truly an inspiration. Like, we see you and you're healthy and you're riding the bike and you're doing the triathlons and it's like, wow. So we're so happy to have you
So
here.
first of all, my kids are grown and gone.
Yeah.
Okay, so
fine.
I'm not going home and having to feed anybody anymore.
Yeah.
So that I'm in a different place, and I have to say it's great. However, because I was where a lot of you guys are now, don't miss the moments.
Yeah.
It is so easy to want to wish it away, right? I'm in a tough place. I've got a tough teenager, or I'm in this baby stage. Embrace it. Embrace it, because guess what? Once it's gone, you guys, it is gone forever. And the minute you miss it, it is gone. So one thing I did when I was with the younger kids, I burned the wicks on both ends. I did the school, I was the team mom, I was the mother on all the buses with the phone on the field trips. I didn't miss anything. Yeah, was I tired? Absolutely. Did I show people I was tired? No way. I hustled all the time. So it's really about hustling, but just gathering your life and doing what's important. Like Vicki said, her life became her kids and her work. You don't have to do a lot of things in life to be successful, but pick the things that mean the most. To me, it was family first, always family first. The business, though, supported our lives. I have been the breadwinner of my family my entire life. So don't ever let anybody tell you you can't do it and you can't be it. But set your priorities. And do you want me to talk about how come I still like this?
Yes, we would love to know why you still like this.
We want to know.
Because some days we wonder.
Have I gone too long?
No, you're good.
Okay,
You're
all
good.
right. So I wrote down a couple things. All right. So, so find your value. So what are you good at? What do you like to do? Right? Talk. Do I like marketing? Do I like social media? Do I love listings? Do I love buyers? Do I love all of it? Find what you love. You could be really good at everything, but then you still have to knock it down and prioritize because it's called time. My most valuable commodity at my age is time. Maybe not yours, but me, I make every decision based on my time. Yeah. The second thing, so find your value. Be solution driven. Be the vehicle that finds a way, every single time. If you change your mindset to find a way every single time, all of a sudden, everything's going to come to you and you're going to have it mastered. So be the solution and find a solution for every situation. The other thing, and Karen, you guys are great, keep learning. So a couple things. So I am a student of life. I love to learn. I take Jill Perla art classes. So Jill is my art teacher, and she is amazing. If you guys love art, take art. Experience new things. So last year I turned 60. And 18 months before I turned 60, I decided I was going to do 60 new things before I was 60. Now, okay, some of them were kind of little. I didn't skydive. I didn't do anything that was going to kill me. But before the 60th birthday, I tried 60 new things. And it shifted my mind. And my mind is still shifted, where I now do new things all the time without ever looking back. So if you're 45, if you're 44 today, do 45 before 45. It is really a game changer, guys. Try it. Something cool. Meet new people and make new friends all the time. This room, we all have the opportunity to meet new friends, see old friends, see friends. So that is really important. The other thing that I live for is my health. Your health is your wealth. How do you keep your health? Diet, exercise, sleep. I know, that's it. That is my life. Diet, exercise, and sleep. That's my priority. Keeping physically fit. Never stop improving. Get better. Keep learning. Keep doing the things. Hang around the people that inspire you to just keep improving. And then my last thing is learn kindness. Be kind to every person you meet. You never know what's going on in their life. And sometimes you can take someone who's nasty and just by being kind and smile, turn the entire situation. So I do that all the time. I don't go to the grocery very much, but if I walk into the grocery and I see somebody walking out, I'll just smile really big at them. And they're like, "Are you okay?"
Yeah.
Try it.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
We love Sue so much. She's like I took all these notes. It's like a sound bites of like
Wisdom.
inspiration,
Yeah.
wisdom, sound bites of wisdom. So I hope that you all got a whole bunch of that too.
So
that's amazing,
it.
Sue.
And a culmination of all that, guys, just keeps you entrenched in what you do. Do this business or any business because you truly love it and you want to make a difference in people's lives. In real estate, for example, we have the opportunity to make the most money in the world that you would ever make at a career. and help people enrich their lives. So that is such a winning combination, and just make it your combination. Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. So good. Okay, Kathleen, get that notes out, girl. Okay, so Kathleen, you really started to, and a lot of people maybe didn't know, but while you were really starting to build your business and see so much success in your business, you were also going through a divorce. You were a single mom to a very young child. It's hard enough, and so many people, we see many women in the group asking about that. How do I do this? I'm a single mom. How did you do this? How did you balance the two?
So my son was born in November of 2015, and before his first birthday, I found out some devastating news to a relationship that was the end. So with less than a 1-year-old, I was headed down this road of divorce, brand new into the real estate business. So it was like, I was 28 years old. I had a 1-year-old. I had just left my job teaching. I just started this new real estate career, and I was like, oh God, what am I going to do? So it's funny, my mom said to me, who's sitting right there, fear is the best motivator, and it is definitely the best motivator. So I didn't have a choice but to succeed, because I had this little face looking at me, and I had to make sure that he had what he needed. So I would say that I have this whole page of notes, because I knew I was going to stand up here and get like all... There's a lot of things that really helped. The first was just a support system. I mean, for me, I have an awesome family who they were support in the real estate business and personally, so that was like a double whammy. And I have really great friends, and so I was able to call one. I remember specifically, I remember 8 million times calling my mom, like, I got to drop him off because I got to go show this house. But I remember calling one of my friends. My mom wasn't available. I'm running late. I'm stuck in traffic, and he's coming back at 7, and I need you to meet him there. And, just having that support to be able to call somebody and have some help is the only way it was key. And also key for me was having him in daycare. I had to if I didn't treat this like a full-time job, I wasn't going to be successful. So he was in full-time daycare the entire time, and it was obviously, for those of you with young kids in the area, it's not cheap to put your kids in full-time daycare, but I knew that it was going to pay for itself if I really focused on the job. So for me, that system, the routine, that was huge. The other thing, and it's funny because I must have met those same women that you met, because we all only have 24 hours in a day, and I had the choice. I could focus on all this drama and negativity and things I had absolutely no control over. There was nothing I could do to change the situation. There was nothing I could have done to make it turn out differently. And I could have focused all my energy on that, but that was going to get me absolutely nowhere. And so I really made a conscious effort. I didn't do this perfectly. I still don't do this perfectly, but I made a conscious effort that I was going to focus my energy and my time on my son and work. Those were the only two things that were going to produce any positive results for me. So I threw myself into work. And for those of you that have been divorced, when you start sharing custody, even though I wasn't sharing had him the vast majority of the time, but those days he was gone, you're like, what do I do? The first you're getting used to it, and you're like, my kid, they're supposed to be with me. And so those were the days that I really was like, just threw myself into real estate, and that made a big difference. And then, pretty much 99% of it came down to a support system and the mentality and what you focus on, you get more of. And I did not want more drama, so I focused on those few things. I think the other little things, remember my mom told me too, anytime anyone calls you and you're not available, you have an appointment. You're not at soccer practice. You're not at dance. You're like, you have an appointment. So kind of really prioritizing that. But the other thing too is, it took me years to figure this out, but there is no balance in real estate in the traditional sense. And the balance, I feel like the balance is like over the course of a year. So learning to not feel guilty in the slower times and take the time to go do the things that I wouldn't because there are months where you're not doing any of that. You're working. And so learning to appreciate kind of that ebb and that flow, and shifting what I thought of as balance was very helpful.
I think what Kathleen is saying that's so good is whether you're a single mom or you don't have kids, whatever, we all need a support system. And so having that is so incredible. So we're so proud of you. Thank you, Kathleen, for being here. We know your mom's proud too. Okay, Keisha Washington, speaking of proud of, I'm so proud of you. Keisha, she mentioned a little bit, and this is what I wanted her to share today, because we hear people, this business is hard. It is so hard. It's so hard to get started. Not many people can afford to drop all of their income in order to start in their real estate business, knowing that it's going to be 3, 6, 9, 10, 12, 20 months before you get that first paycheck. And so having to work a full-time job while building your business is a reality for many people, and it is exceptionally hard. And I know Keisha is one of maybe a handful of people I know who did it really well. You did it so beautifully, so seamlessly, and now real estate is your full-time career. Can you share some of your, and you at the same, you kids, travel, sports, like, you know, all the things. Can you share a little bit about how you made that happen?
Yes. I have no notes. But
Yeah.
it's blank. So yes, I, as Karen stated, was working full time when I first got licensed. There was no way I was, earning a 6-figure income. My husband earned a good income as well, but there's no way you can just drop that. You've got bills, you got mortgage, you've got a lifestyle that you've created. So I had to maintain it. So when I first made the decision, I kind of had a 5-year plan. I thought that, everyone was like, oh, you're not even gonna sell one house. The first 2 years is gonna be miserable, but just hang in there, kid, you got this. So that really lit a fire, because I was like, okay, you don't know me. But okay, advice taken. So I thought it was gonna just be slow, because they say the average realtor does 2 or 3 sales maybe their first year. I don't know, I got different stories. But in my mind, I was like, okay, I'm probably not gonna do that much. So I got licensed, and my full-time job was managing, I managed people, I managed an entire department. And so that was, took a lot of time, because it was an in-demand position. My first deal I closed within 2 months of getting licensed. That was a family member, so I kind of got lucky there. But I was already kind of big on social media. I just post a lot. I'm a happy sharer of information. So I posted that, and it just literally took off like a wildflower. People were just so proud of me that it happened so quickly. I was getting inundated with messages on my Facebook Messenger, like, hey, I've got, my sister is looking to buy a house, or my friend's looking to buy a house. So I was like, wow. So I took off with that. Now, I was fortunate enough to work a job where I worked remote. Some of the time, not all the time. So I did have some flexibility there. I didn't really have to really check in with anyone, as long as the work was getting done and my team was performing. So I literally took advantage of that. February 14th, it was Valentine's Day, 2019, the company I had been with for 4 years did a massive layoff. It was not my position, thankfully. But the business was suffering, and it got really slow. So the wheels in my brain were turning. I was like, I have got to literally take advantage of this. So I did. It was really slow. I could show houses during the day. As long as I had my phone in my pocket, I could access all of the websites that I needed to access. My work was getting done. That's all that mattered. So for all of 19 until November, I just was hustling. I was hustling, and I was busy. I was doing a lot of deals. I kind of saw the writing on the wall with that position. The company was about to pretty much close down, and I easily shifted into another position in the same industry of someone that had been trying to hire me for a while. Unfortunately, that position wasn't as flexible, so I kind of had to get creative. And I was leaning on a lot of my Pearson Smith buddies. Hey, can you show this house for me? Some of them are in the house today. So I really just kind of rallied on my people, the support system of my colleagues. And they would show my clients' houses during the day. So I literally just kept rolling with that. Pandemic hits. It's like the craziest, busiest year ever. And not only am I busy with the buy side, I'm now getting listings. So in my mind, I'm like, wow, I'm really making it. Like I'm doing, when you start getting listings, that's like a really positive sign of your business, that you're doing something, people are, they want to hire you. So it got to the point, this was like a turning point for me, I would say like summer 2020. I was so busy, my phone is blowing up, my text messages, emails, I've got my clients kind of, pulling at me. I've got a team of 8 people over here at the job that are, and I'm like very friendly with my employees, like we're friends. They don't really look at me as a boss. Like they looked up to me. And like 7 o'clock, like clockwork, I could hear the ping from my bedroom on my laptop. Ping, 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 they're pinging me. That's when the questions start. And I've got the clients over here pinging me. And it was like, I had to make a choice at that moment. So I literally sat down, mapped out the numbers, mapped out my pipeline. And I had just worked so hard in my career, I didn't want to be mediocre. Like I've always been a rock star I put my all into everything that I do. I didn't want to go out like that. I didn't want to go out as like leaving this career doing okay and kind of going into real estate overwhelmed because I let the full-time career kind of drag me down, if you will. So I talked to my husband and I said, look, like I'm gonna have to put my notice in a few months. Like I've got enough built up in the pipeline. I've done so much in business, I can do this. And he was like, if you say you can do it, then I know you can do it. So put your plan into action. So it took me a little bit. I was a little nervous because, it's not easy to just replace a 6-figure income. It's not, when you're used to that direct deposit hitting your account every 2 weeks, like it scared the crap out of me, I'm not gonna lie. But I also believed in myself. I knew the clients that I had been working with, and like I said, I had a pretty solid pipeline at that time, so it made sense. There was a lot of sleepless nights. I know sleep is so important, but I really didn't get a lot of it for 2 years because I'm working, I'm taking my kid to, softball travels all around the country. I've got a team of people reporting to me. I've got clients that need me all the time. But I literally, I know it sounds so cliche, I took the leap of faith because I believed in myself and I believed in the passion that I had for this. Like I love it. Even on the crazy days and I want to pull my hair out, I still love it. I love helping people. I love helping people realize their dreams of home ownership. And just never in a million years did I think that I would be this successful that quick. But when you work hard and you do believe in what you're putting out into the world, it really can happen. Like I'm literally proof of that.
How long ago, Keisha, did you let go of your other job?
So it was Labor Day last year.
Wow.
So almost 2 years.
Yeah.
It was literally, I got licensed in September of 2018, late September 2018. So it was 2 years. So my 5-year plan got cut down to 2 years, and I just literally never looked back.
Awesome.
I'm prepared to have an even better year this year. I closed I think 33 deals last year.
Awesome.
I should do the same or more this year. And I'm just going to keep going.
Something Keisha said is really about mindset, because you said you were sort of struggling because you were used to being a rock star at your other job and doing a great job, and it's hard when you come into a whole new career. And I mean, there's so many people I've talked to. I remember meeting with this one agent one time, and she met me for coffee because she just wanted to cry because she was used to being like, successful, and she wasn't feeling successful. And so, it takes a lot of perseverance and mindset to push yourself in order to do that. I'm so proud of you. You did such a great job.
Thank
well
you
done,
so much.
Keisha.
Thank you.
You have your own. You have your own. You're right. Okay. Amanda Macy. So Amanda, you talked a little bit about, you kind of started with a little bit of a slow start. And what I wanted to, and I know we're sort of setting you up with your question, because I know the answer to your question. But what your question really is all about is it's about that support system. Because and this week's podcast episode was about what to do if you're in the wrong place, right? Because sometimes we get into, Keisha and I were talking about this, you're with a brokerage or a team, or it's not the right fit for you, and that can really affect how well you do. And you started out really slow, Amanda, but last year you closed 20 transactions. 24. You've already done 12 or 13 million this year. She will double what she did last year. What is the difference, Amanda? What do you attribute that to, besides your work ethic?
Well, this too will sound cliche, but all of the things that Platinum Group and Empowering Women offer as far as the touches, I literally do what they tell me to do, and it works. It sounds really cliche, like I said, but it does work. I started out very slow by design when I was licensed. I had a preschooler. I've got three girls. My youngest was in preschool, and I was like, I'm going to get licensed. I was staying at home at the time. I was going to get licensed, and by the time she's in kindergarten, I knew it was going to be a slow, as Keisha had heard, was going to be a slow start, and I was okay with that. So it was kind of by design. My husband was working full time, and it was supplemental for me at the time. My first year, I think I closed 2 deals. One was a friend's mom, and the other one was a friend, I think. And then in 2019, I had 3 deals. Last year, I did 24. Now, I did a heck of a ton of renters my second year, which I still will do here and there if I have time and can handle it, and it's not too far away out of where I am. But the fear and the trauma that Vicky and Katrina both had in different aspects hit me last year, and I had a fire under my butt. And I went from I had a very successful first quarter anyway last year, and that seems to be a trend for me, which everyone has their different times of year that they seem more business. But we had a major shift in my household where my husband's still furloughed, so I became the breadwinner, and that was scary as hell.
Because her husband had COVID
yeah,
and was
so
one of the first cases in our area, and she was all over the news, and he was in the hospital for a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's great. He's doing wonderfully, thank goodness. But it was a major shift in our family. I'm that mom, and like so many of us, mom, whatever, if you don't have kids, your family, whatever, we do it all, right? And we don't like to let go of the things. And so that's been a big shift for me to let him do the running around for sports or school or making sure the homework's done. And I still don't like to let go of all of it. It's very hard. But I do like what Katrina said about the balance over the year, because that is so true. There are months where my kids just don't see much of me. But right now it's a little quieter, so that's been great. But I think that's important to learn to shift the balance, because it's not going to be what you think of balance.
So it's having a support system. It's having a system. It's following the system.
Yes.
And doing the things over and over and over again.
And I know a lot of people don't have family near, and that's got to be tough. We're very lucky to have family in the area. But the other thing that has been so helpful for me was finding my niche, I guess. Like, I learned that you can't be all things to all people. So I'm in Prince William County, and my team is primarily Loudoun. There's more of us now in Prince William, but I don't know Loudoun. Yeah. And I've learned a little bit here and there, but I've learned that that's just my people and my life and our friends and all that are in Prince William, mainly Manassas. But I've learned that that's where my focus is, and it was scary at first because I didn't want to pigeonhole myself as just that being my spot, but it's working.
We're so proud of you.
Thank you.
Good job, Amanda. Okay, so I have just maybe 8 questions to go. So we're going to kind of do this rapid fire. So I will ask questions, and then let me know if you want to answer it. So not everybody has to kind of jump in if you feel this is one for you. So this was submitted by one of our attendees. Are there 1 or 2 things that you can name that has really helped you to get where you are today with your business? 1 or 2 things.
Okay. Oh gosh, 1 or 2 things. a strong support system, an amazing accountability partner. We bounce off ideas, we mastermind, we're constantly learning, reading, podcasting, attending seminars, attending events like today. That's really been like our energy in helping us improve. And then consistency in the systems. So we, do the daily business builders. We have a client care program with coaching and with the Platinum Group. So it's writing the notes, making the calls, having lunches, having coffees. Not perfectly all the time, but all the time I'm doing some element of that. And just that helps you get better with people, trust, relationships, and then you become a master of your trade. You spend 10,000 hours in anything and you become a master of what you do, and then people will be drawn to you. So, and trying new things. I try new things all the time.
All the time.
All the time.
Any other?
I'll just piggyback
Yeah.
on that. So in addition to what Vicki said, I think social media is super important, and I think that everybody should be doing videos. You might see some of mine. They are random and sometimes a little sketchy, but I am doing them. So I think I am a student of Katie Lance. I don't know if you guys know who Katie Lance is. Social media marketing. And you can actually join her group. She is an amazing teacher, but if you aren't doing Facebook Live, if you aren't doing Instagram Live, just those two things alone, guys, start releasing the fear and get into social media and watch my live, like my lives. Usually they're with a dog, a horse, a guinea pig, or something like that, but I'm doing it.
And we're going to all support you with that. I was hoping if you didn't say consistency or system, I was going to be so mad. So thank God. Yes. Okay. What habits, maybe other end of the table here, what habits do you feel has helped increase your success? Check your notepad, Kathleen. Anything on there? Okay.
No, go ahead.
So the one thing that has been the most important to me, and this was true back when I was a single, I'm no longer a single, well, I guess, I don't know when you stop being a single mom, but I'm engaged and my fiance has twin 6-year-olds. So now we have a 5-year-old and twin 6-year-olds. So it's like the opposite end of the spectrum from my previous predicament is there's like so many people. And, this was true then and not true now, waking up early, like waking up way earlier than I need to, waking up at the same time every day, and using that time to be productive has been the best habit I ever got into, because then by the time they wake up, I can focus on them till they're out the door, and I'm not stressed about all these emails I saw that I didn't respond to, or this one big thing I've hanging over me that I've just already gotten it done.
Yep. Excellent. Amanda, were you going to add to that? I thought you were.
I can. Do I need to hold the microphone?
Go ahead.
This is a habit, but it's also, I think, one of the things that in the last question you asked, and that's your database. I add people to my database every week, and another big thing that I struggled with, and I know a lot of people, is don't overthink it. It doesn't matter if they want to buy a house right now or if they've even thought about buying a house ever. Just put them in your database. I add people literally every week. From my kids' swim. Most of them are centered around my kids, but from swim team, I'm like, oh, hey, I saw you at a meet, and I'm going to look up their address and be stalkerish, and you're going in my database. And they then go on my list, and they get postcards, and they're watching.
Because they have to know, like, and trust you, and so you're giving them that opportunity to know, like, and trust you.
Yes.
Keisha, why don't you take our next question? And Sue, you mentioned this a little bit. You're so good at this. What is the role that social media has played in your business, and how do you maximize it? So I talk about Helen Johnson all the time, who did this. Helen had like one listing, and you thought she had like 500, and right, and you too, Keisha, like you had like one thing, and it looked like you were helping all of the people. So talk about that.
So it's funny, when I first got licensed, there were agents really kind of saying like, oh, don't post that, because I'm like under contract, ratified, and I was getting such good feedback from that. And they were like, you can't, because what if something happens? What if the deal falls through? And I'm like, Facebook world has no idea that the deal fell through, because almost never am I going to go back on and say the deal fell through. So I actually just did that for the first time in 3 years, because I need to get that house sold, and it's a beautiful house. But 99.9% of the time, I'm never going to go back on and say the deal fell through. even with my open houses, like when I first started doing open houses, when I first got licensed, I was doing open houses all the time. I had agents asking me to do their open houses because I'm going on and I'm doing the Facebook Lives and I'm posting everywhere. People have no idea that that's not your listing. They're messaging me and saying, "Oh my God, that house you're selling, I saw that open house, it's beautiful." So I
And you
was
said,
like,
thank you.
yeah, absolutely. I'm like, okay, I'm onto something here. You know, I just literally, every little touch point I do, I post on social media, but I'm not obnoxious about it. Like, there's literally a way to do it. You kind of have to mix it in. And again, I'm a sharer of information anyway. I try to post positive quotes. I post funny things. I post family pictures. But I'm always mixing in my real estate, and I'm always reminding people that I'm a real estate agent. And I was chatting with Michelle earlier, and this is so true. I get warm leads almost every single day, just because I'm reminding people. I'm getting a message, "Hey, I saw your picture and it just reminded me, and you know, my sister-in-law needs to buy a house." I posted a new construction picture. A client and I went and looked at land. A lady that I haven't talked to in 3 years messaged me, "Hey, I just saw your picture. My husband and I are thinking about buying and selling. Do you have time to chat this
So it's
week?"
constant touches.
It is constant. There's a way to do it without being obnoxious.
Yes.
Even if people think I'm obnoxious, I don't care. They can unfollow me.
Yeah.
But I've really mastered not being obnoxious. People are always messaging me saying, "I love your inspirational posts. Like, you're so positive all the time." Life isn't always positive. Trust me, I'm a human being. There's a lot of negative things that happen, but I don't put that negative energy out to the world. I keep it extremely positive all the time, and that's just who I am. It doesn't mean life is perfect, but I want the world to know that I'm a very positive person. There's always a light at the end of the tunnel.
And people want to work with somebody like that. Vicki, do you want to touch a little bit on social media? Because you've done a ton with social media as well.
Yes. So, one time somebody told me, and I use this a lot when I'm working with sellers, like if you look at a picture and it's a group of people and you're in the photo, the first thing you do naturally, all of us as humans, is look for ourselves in the picture. And so I think it's really important that, one, you go local. Like that's really what helped multiply my business tenfold. And social media is really today's radio. It's really today's way of communicating to the world who you are, what you're about. Aaliyah's like a master over here. She should be up here with us. For me, getting local in terms of postcards, farming, my Facebook group, Leesburg Moms, has really helped me sort of build stronger relationships with people. And it's crazy. Like I get calls or messages all the time. I followed you from 3 years ago, or I get we sometimes will do for our birthdays or whatever, we give gift cards. We do a lot of giving and a lot of gifting. And people come to us because they feel like they know us, they like us, they trust us, and they want to do business with us. So nobody's really wants to, we do talk about, you do need to talk about yourself and what you've done, but really, I go back to that picture because what a consumer wants, what a buyer or seller wants, is just to know that you're going to take care of them. Because it's not about us; it's really about serving others. So social media is massive.
It's huge. If you think about it, how many people have I talked to today, or we've talked and said, "Oh, we feel like we know each other, even though we've never met each other." And it's because we follow each other on social media, and we get to know each other and connect. And so that's huge. So for you, what's a big pain point for you when it comes to training and coaching real estate assistants or other administrative staff? You've had a team. I know you've had, obviously, your daughter owns a great transaction coordination company, but have you had pain points with that hiring process and management?
Sure. I actually, in the early 90s, I think I was one of the first realtors that had an assistant. That was a person who sat in the office and used a typewriter, guys. Sorry. But I actually have shifted the whole team thing now. In fact, Heron Choi is on my team. Heron's down there. My son Brian, my husband Charlie, and then Chrissy is our transaction manager. So what we do now on the team is, I'm more of a team leader, although everyone has a position on the team. I don't hire. We don't train much, do we, Heron? We all teach each other. And we all have our own separate businesses on the team, kind of like what you guys do. So we continue to perfect and change and grow each other. But I have to say, our team's in a good place right now because, number one, we have Chrissy, and she has like lightened the load. If you don't have a transaction manager, guys, get one because
Call
it'll-
Chrissy. Sorry to interrupt. Just call Chrissy. If you don't
well,
have one, it'll change
what
the
it
business.
does, it allows you to be your best at what you love to do in real estate, and all the details of your job that bog you down after 6 o'clock at night after spending the day with clients is done. So I don't think I'm really answering your question well, except for the fact that we've gone a full 360 on the team thing, and now we're in a really good place. And I don't feel that I'm a manager. I don't want to manage anybody. I just want to do what I'm doing. So our team is really filled with that, individuals that are professionals that are serving others.
We have a couple things that we've learned about hiring. A couple of the things is, what is the saying? Like, be slow to hire and quick to fire, right? So when you know that you have a wrong fit, it's okay. Like, it's okay if things don't work out. Melissa and I are both a little control freaks, which is probably why we work so well together. We both hate training. But I heard this recently is that when you're training someone, when you have somebody who's helping you, that training is not an event. It's it's an experience. Like it's not something that you just do one time and think, okay, now they got it, and it's just going to be great. And it's just something that you have to continuously work on and hone, which I think we have done. It's all about the long game. We have 2 more questions. I'm sorry, I know we're running a little behind schedule today, so we've got 2 more, and then we're going to do our announcements. If anybody has a dying, burning question, hold that for just a second, and we'll try to get to it real quick. Okay, really fast. Favorite business or personal development book? Oh, come on. Go ahead. Yes, it's on the notepad. Oh, it's on the notepad.
It's not new and it's not particular to real estate, but Carol Dweck's Mindset. Yes. I read it when I was a teacher, and it's pertinent in every part of life.
Awesome. Other books?
Ninja Selling is
Yes.
amazing. If you want to build a business by referral, that's like the Bible there because it tells you exactly what you need to do to have a successful business with building relationships. So that's a good one.
Do you have one, Stu?
A goodie, an oldie but goodie, Think and Go Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Yeah, that's a good one. Do you have one? Amanda, do you have one?
I do not.
Okay, that's okay. It's okay.
I'm in the season of life that's not Sue's, where all my kids
Reading
read
is
things
not
all the
reading is
time.
not a
Reading
thing. It's
doesn't
fine.
happen.
Listen, it's good. Okay. Last question
I tell myself one day.
I read it like 10 years ago.
Last question I have for you guys, and this
I own
came
a couple.
this came from an attendee, and Vicki mentioned this slightly. Is what systems do you use to keep yourself organized and tight and top of mind? So, what kind of a system do you have? Is there like one thing that you use a lot or you do a lot that's really helpful to you? Vicki Neufeld.
So we use Referral Maker. Is that what we're referring to?
Perfect.
So we use Brian Buffini's Referral Maker system because that way every Monday morning when I sit down to make my calls, we track pop-by gifts, notes that go out, referrals received, referrals given, and if you save it as a tab on your desktop, it's easy to like lose track and not, especially when it's very, very busy season, to keep up with the tracking. But there's a mental, I feel like this business has a lot of guilt. Like when you're not working, you feel guilty. And if you're busy, you feel guilty because you're not with your kids. It's like you're always guilty, right? Like I'm always guilty. So that Referral Maker really kind of like, not documents, but it quantifies the work we do. Because really, when you're out with people at a lunch or whatever, you're talking to people, you're establishing relationships. That is work. And so if you document, these visits, the calls, the notes, the pop-bys, and then you literally can see your database expanding. And that, what did it say? Expand your network to expand your net worth, right?
Exactly.
And that's the way we do it.
Sue, do you have a system that works really well for you?
My mind is my system. However, we do have a CRM. We use the Brivity system. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but it also links in the website. It is very expensive, but we are going to be transferring over to the Compass CRM. We joined Compass last year, and they have an incredible technology system that is beneficial for us, and we are Karen is our technology director on our team, and we are going to be really pumping that out. So I think it is important to have a CRM, and to also keep in touch with people is very important, and however you do that is your way. Another good system that's very inexpensive is called eMerge. And eMerge is a platform. It's $39.99 a month. You can create brochures. You can create emails. So everyone I talk to goes into this system. If I ever do a happy birthday or a holiday thing, if you ever see Merry Christmas from the Sue Smith team, it comes from eMerge, and they have thousands and thousands of people in there. So that's just another easy way to get the word out. So those are our two things.
Kathleen, do you have a system? It doesn't have to be an app or anything, but some kind of a system that works really well for you.
I haven't really found the CRM that I love the most, but for managing my business in general, I love Trello. I use Trello to track kind of my transactions or just my conversations with people, my prospective clients, or my whole pipeline. So I like that. And then the other system is your coaching. I mean, that's been the most important to me. It's easy because you just tell me what to do and then I just do it. So I don't have to really put a lot of thought into any of that. So
Thank
for
you.
sure that.
I can tell my children to just listen to what their mother tells them to do. All will be well. All will be well. Yes, perfect. Keisha, do you have a system that works well for you?
So I don't really have a system I love. I'm actually looking for a new one. So
Okay.
I'm taking notes. I've used Boomtown, but I don't really like Boomtown. Oh, sorry.
Oh.
I'm sorry. Yeah, so I'm actually looking for a new system, but
Okay.
I used Client Giant, which I like. And then I also have kind of just developed my own relationships with a couple of local vendors. So I kind of pick clients at random, and like she does deliveries for me, or she'll mail things for me, or I'll mail cards. So I just kind of have like my own internal system. So I'm
Well,
just
but that's a
making sure-
system, right? You have a process. You have local vendors that you use and can benefit from, and that
absolutely.
works for you. Awesome. Amanda?
I currently use Exact Contact for my CRM. It's okay. I don't love it. But it works for what I need it for. I do a lot of spreadsheets for tracking stuff. But Client Giant, I love. I just added more people to it this morning. And people buy it, look, hook, line, and sinker. Oh, Amanda, you sent me this amazing, whatever. But it's great. But then the plan of the week, plan of the month, all the things,
All the things.
all work.
Excellent. Thank you. Does anybody have a burning question before we go into our closing announcements? So that kind of run us over a little bit today. Charlene?
Can you sort of introduce those of us that are doing the power coaching, your team of people that are doing that besides you?
Yes.
Because I love getting emails.
You're so sweet.
I just don't.
You'd like to have a face with the name. So some of our tables over here are our Empower Coaching members, which Charlene is a part of. And so, of course, Melissa Oliver is our Director of Operations, who you see a lot. And then Dee Simmons is our Program Director, who also, for our team, who Dee is everyone's favorite person. So everybody needs a D. If you don't have a D in your life, you got to have a D. So it's the two of us there. Any other burning questions? Okay. This has been so good. Thank you, guys. I'm sorry that we ran a little bit over. So literally 6 minutes ago in your email inbox, you should have a 5-question survey. Check your junk mail. We had such a debacle yesterday. So we have a quick 5-question survey for you about today's event that we would love for you to answer. I would be super, super, super grateful for your review of Empowering Women in Real Estate, the podcast. Dawn Tallis just learned how to listen to a podcast on the podcast app on the iPhone. Dawn, so if you can leave a review there and subscribe, I would be super grateful for that.
What number are you at right now?
What number for what? 85 or 86. Yeah. I like to talk, so it works really well. Okay, and then if you are interested in our Empower Coaching Program, Sue's a member, Kathleen's a member, you've heard from quite a few people. In that survey email, there is a special code for $10 off your first month's membership. You can also learn more about that at empoweringwomeninrealestate.com. Click on coaching. A super quick handful of quick shout outs before I do the giveaways. Do you have the names? Oh, thank you. We have, this community is such an amazing community, and it's not just realtors. So, and there's a lot of great people in this room that are also wonderful to work with and support. So we have several people here who are great for settlement gifts and things to acknowledge our clients. So we heard about Jill Perla, who does some beautiful art over here. We have Patrice DeHaven with Carried Away Gifts is over there. Susan Bixby, who also has a company doing settlement gifts. We have many wonderful lenders in the room. Raise your hand. Jackie Fields, Nicole Curtis. Where's Nicole? Oh, there we go over here. So we've got lots of great lenders. Wonderful title company. Christina with Universal Title is over here. Where's Melissa Phones? Vesta Settlements was here. Katie Solomon is here from Champion Title. Stagers, Diane Buckley. Diane's our favorite. We love Diane. Jamila Lopez is a travel agent specifically for entrepreneurs, and she organizes a lot of special incentive trips and travel trips for real estate teams. So she's somebody you want to talk to for that. Of course, Aaliyah Destor for headshots, all of the things. And Chrissy Schellenberger, who does transaction management. So please support our vendors. All right. Whew. Ready? All right, so I'm giving away a few of my favorite things.
It's like Oprah.
What'd you say? Okay. Michelle Danilovich. Jackie's the only one I gave keys to today. Okay, somebody come and get it. Here, Chrissy, pass it back. All right, okay, next. Jennifer Moss. Jennifer? Yay! The cutest pregnant lady in all the land. Here, you should stand up and show your belly to everybody. Look how cute she is. Can you stand that? Look at that. I know. Okay. Diane Buckley. I know. How cute is she? Look at the shoes. There you go. I wanted to put all the hot pink people at the same table. Okay. Yolanda Howard. Yeah. Okay, we have 3 more. Huh? 7. 7 gifts for 7 years. Stephanie Callahan. Okay, and do you guys like this? We're thinking maybe we'll do this twice a year. Would that be fun? Yes? We should do this again? Okay. Okay. Keisha Washington. Okay, last one. Do a good little shuffle here. Oh my God, I caught 2. Okay. Betty Vivian. Where is she? Did she leave? Oh, dang. Yes. Oh man, Betty. Don't tell her, she'll be sad. Martina. Where is she? I can't even try to pronounce her last name. All right, that's it for today. Thank you for coming.